Good evening and welcome to ParkTV 16's broadcast of St. Louis Park Girls Basketball. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Rusnick along with John Fromm, and we are bringing you conference action tonight. The St. Louis Park Lady Orioles are hosting the Cooper Hawks. And tonight is travel night, John. We've got a very full house and we're gonna have a lot of girls in the gym, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Welcome back, John.
Great to be back, Mike, for our second Girls Hoops broadcast of the year. And indeed, it is the Battle of the Birds as the Birds of Prey from Robbinsdale Cooper bring their Hawk pride down here to take on the Orioles. And I'm really excited, as you are, to see all 5 of the youth teams that are going to be honored here. I know those girls are excited. Obviously, we have some ties long time to the program. And sit back and enjoy high school basketball.
It'll be a fun one. The Cooper Hawks are coming in with a 3-8 record, and the Lady Orioles are sitting at 4-8. So we'll get to the tail of the tape in about a minute here. We're going to go to the national anthem, and then we'll have our starting lineups, and then we'll have conference action here in, it used to be the North Suburban, and now it's the Metro West Conference.
Yes, as Cooper and St. Louis Park, along with Benilde, made their way to the new Metro West, called a few of the Metro West Conference hockey games in the last week, and really glad that the Hawks could come down. They're led, just a quick, as we're waiting for the anthem to start, they are led by head coach Kiera Buford, a former Gopher who completed her eligibility with the University of Minnesota. I believe, Mike, when you had a chance to visit with Kiera, she did say she played overseas. Was it last year or the year before in Poland?
That's correct. 1 year in Poland, and then last year she was on the staff for the Cooper Hawks, and this year she moves into the head coach position. So she seems very excited. It's a very young team. No seniors on the team this year for the Hawks, playing 2 8th graders getting substantial minutes. So we're going to break away here in a second for the national anthem, and then we'll be back to St. Louis Park Girls Basketball on TV 16. Thanks for joining us.
Can I go to the sleepover?
I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
All right. Welcome back to St. Louis Park Gymnasium, where tonight the Lady Orioles are hosting the Lady Hawks from Cooper. And I'm Mike Rusnick along with John Fromm, and we're getting set to go. Tonight here is travel basketball night for St. Louis Park, and we have a very full crowd here. And we'll be joining, excuse us, we had a little bit of some technical difficulties there in the interim. So fun night tonight. We've got the starters for St. Louis Park are Mara Henderson, number 3. Number 23 is Lorraine Maximore. Number 24 is Addie Mae Perkins. Number 33 is Lauren Resnick. And number 45 is Abigail Olson. So
starting lineups have been introduced, and as Mike mentioned, the Orioles come in with a 4-8 record and the Hawks in at 3-8. Take a look at the Cooper starting lineup as they gather in circle as the Orioles do. Number 3, a sophomore, Lauren Johnson at 1 guard spot. T.T. Longs, number 4, she's a 5'6" freshman. She's camped out at another guard position. And then number 5, as they go 3-4-5, another freshman, Jahia Gaston. She goes by the name, I believe, Jew Gaston is how they call her. And then also you've got number 10, starting at a small forward position. It looks like Makaya Harvey, the sophomore. And then the young lady in the middle, a 6'3" junior. She's got some size, big rebounder for the Hawks. Take a look at number 30, Raina Dixon for the Cooper Hawks. Cooper coming off a 15-win season last year. As Mike and I discussed earlier, as you take a look at the Hawks, a lot of success the last several years with the program. They've had some transition in the coaching staff as longtime coach Jen Rademacher moved on to the State High School League a few years ago for a new position. And then, of course, as Mike mentioned, Kiera Buford just in her first year as the head coach here.
That's right. So we're going to get set for tip-off here tonight. And it looks like it's going to be Olson going up against, I believe that's Dixon in the middle.
Dixon definitely with a size and circumference advantage here. We'll see what her reach is on the tap.
Oh, but Olsen out jumps her, and that's Addie Mae Perkins snagging it. She goes over to Mara Henderson, brings it over the timeline. Now it looks like the Hawks are in a 1-2-2 defense. Orioles around to Maxie Moore. Maxie Moore back to the corner. That's Henderson for three, short. And no rebound. Oh, the Cooper Hawks actually pick up the rebound. And now she gets up quickly. That's number 10. And that's Harvey. Harvey over to number 30 is Dixon, and she misses. And that's Maxie Moore. She's got a wide open. Oh! And she refuses to pass the ball to Olsen, who was wide open for an easy two, John.
Absolutely. Abby was really breaking as she released well.
Now we've got Addie Mae Perkins at the top of the key. She's yo-yoing. We've got Henderson on the right side. Now into Olsen. Olsen at the elbow. She swings it on the left side. That's Maxie Moore pulls up for a 15-footer. That's no good. Resnick gets the tip. And then it goes over to number 10, and that's Harvey. Harvey bringing it up the... Oh, a little bit of a carry there, but she had a little shook and jive on that, John.
Little good ball movement by Cooper.
And that's Yu Long who misses, and Henderson with the rebound.
Fast pace early on. We'll see if the Orioles attack that 1-2-2 down on the left baseline area. Dixon, what I saw is she's wide open here again. Mara with her second opportunity.
Yep. Mara doesn't seem to owe Resnick with the offensive board. A nice pass to Olsen, who gets fouled. Great recognition from Resnick to Olsen. You know, John, Mara missed twice on that on the left side. It didn't look like she's using her legs on that shot.
Well, and you know, they're going to get her going eventually, and I think if the Hawks stay in that 1-2-2, Dixon, biggest girl on the floor for either team. I don't know what her lateral quickness is to get to the corner, so they can spin Mara off maybe some different set plays or some picks. She should have that shot most of the night.
Olsen missing the first of two. Abby's been a good free throw shooter this year, right around the 68% mark. And the second of two is good. So the Orioles are on the board 1-0, take an early lead. We're at the 16:40 mark, and the Hawks get it into the front court. Oh, a nice pass driving the baseline. Oh, and 30, Dixon goes over Resnick, no call, and Olsen can't hang on, and there's a shot. And Dixon again, and then it's off of White. That's going to go to the Orioles. So a lot of confusion down there, and Dixon is creating some havoc down there.
Yeah, absolutely. With her base, she's got a wide base as well as being 6'3". Not a lot of vertical, but you saw her get a couple of rebounds and a couple of putback chances.
Cooper has moved to the full court press now. Let's see how the Orioles do. Henderson finds Maxie Moore. Maxie Moore dribbles on the left side. She dribbles again. She goes in strong and makes the baskets.
Nice start for the Orioles as they aggressively try to break the press. That's nice to see.
Moore's first basket, and the Orioles move to a 3-0 lead. 16 minutes left in the first. Oh, there's a nice pinch by the Orioles between Resnick and Henderson. They get a piece. Oh, and now she steps out of bounds. That's a turnover in favor of the Orioles.
Two beautiful traps by the Orioles. The first time they almost had a chance to get, I believe that was Gaston on the side, and then Lauren dropped down into the corner, and Dixon was in no man's land on the baseline there. She had nowhere to go as she was pinned deep.
Good call out, John. You never want to get stuck in the corner wherever. Oh, and Lorraine, I thought she was going to come back. She pulls back. They regroup. Here's Henderson on the baseline who finds Resnick underneath. A big fake. And, oh, it just pops out. And then Henderson with the offensive board. She misses. A good recognition. Oh, and the travel. Yep. Travel on number 11, and that's Yu Long. Yu is part of a sister team of Yu and TT.
And there is no WW, but they are sisters, Yu and TT, both undersized guards. And Yu entered the game, and we should mention also 22 in the game for Cooper. Kiera Coops in the game, the 5'8" junior.
Yeah, and Coops will
freshman,
excuse me. Freshman. Coops will get a lot of playing time tonight. So here's Moore. Moore can't hang on to the ball. Now she swings it over to Resnick, top of the key, who quickly gives it into Henderson. Henderson finds Olsen over to Addie Mae Perkins. That's three-pointer. That's no good. Henderson tries to corral it. She can't get it. And that's number 3 is Johnson. Johnson kicks it over to number 10 is Harvey. Harvey going deep into the Oriole defense. She can't make it. Addie Mae Perkins can't get the rebound. Now that's number 3 is Johnson, and she gets the basket.
It looked Mike, real briefly, Harvey had a unmolested almost opportunity to run into the offensive zone there and tried the layup, but she wasn't able to get it quick.
Yep, and now you see Maxie Moore throw up a wild shot. She can't get her own rebound, and now we've got number 11. That's Long's going in. Oh, a beautiful spin. That was Earl the Pearl Monroe-esque. And there's a, are they gonna get Mara on that one? I think they got Mara on the reach. It could have been Resnick and there it is, foul on number 3. That's Mara Henderson, her first.
Wish we had the highlight reel.
Oh,
UU
they gave it to
Longs
Resnick now. I missed, they switched it.
switched the fouls there. Orioles do have a substitution as Addie Mae Perkins going to slide out of the game here.
Yep.
Oh, wild pass on the inbound.
She made the save. And that's number 5, Gaston. They call her Jew. So I think what they did there is they brought in Radiance Brown now, number 53 for the Orioles. And one of the things you'll find with her, oh, there's a 3-point shot. And now it's the score now is Cooper 4, Orioles 3. And they've got a count. Nobody threw it in. Here we go. Radiance Brown now in the backcourt, 53. She's looking Henderson. Here's Henderson to the midcourt. Now she's looking over to LeRae. LeRae dribbles, goes left, over 3 people. She misses. Abby can't rebound, and then it goes over to number 10 is Harvey. Oh, and we got a foul. Is that on Maxie Moore?
Yeah, 23 gets saddled with the personal Maxie Moore. Little reach in there. Wanted to just mention on the last Cooper basket, the backup center, Kiera Coops, had come in the game, as we mentioned, maybe to play the backside of the 1-2-2 for Dixon. With the pace of this game going up and down, obviously they're probably going to have to use a couple big ladies, but she really lost a nice old-fashioned set shot to get the deuce there.
I think you're right. So they tried to go big by bringing in Radiance. Now Maxie Moore gets saddled with her first foul, and they bring Addie Mae Perkins back into the game, which moves Lauren Resnick on top of the 2-3. Here's Johnson, or Harvey, excuse me. And Harvey, that's a 2-pointer just inside the line. And now the score is 6-3 in favor of the Hawks. Here comes Perkins. Perkins looks for Henderson. She throws it away. A turnover and a basket for Long. And then a quick timeout for the Orioles.
So
that's a 30 timeout.
Yeah, that quick pressure and obviously the quickness of the 3 undersized guards that Cooper seems to rotate really got some hands in the air. They've got some good vertical, and that was UU Longs who helped with that breakup on that occasion. So, you know, both of these teams have a similar opponent, Mike. You mentioned the other day Cooper battled Kennedy. I think you mentioned that earlier. St. Louis Park had a close game against the Hawks, or excuse me, against the Eagles recently. Just a 10-pointer for St. Louis Park. So if you look at things in terms of a comparison of opponents, we should have a good one, and we encourage you to buckle up with a refreshment tonight and stick with us here on 16.
Good call out, John. I could use a refreshment myself. So we're at the 13:43 mark here in the first half. Lady Orioles are down by 5, 8-3, and you know, interesting season so far for the Orioles, John. They started out really hot at 4-0, and then there were some adjustments that were made by the coaching staff, and they went on an unfortunate losing streak of 8 games in a row. They've been tweaking the lineup a little bit and playing time, and we've got a couple of injuries, but not enough to really, you know, impact it that much. So it'll be interesting to see from a coaching decision how they go.
Well, I just want to say, as Lauren Resnick gets ready to throw the ball in, losing Autumn Ballesteros for the rest of the season with those severe knee injuries, the ACL, MCL, even though Autumn was a rather smaller young lady, what an inspirational and spark plug she's been the last 3 years. So
exactly. Oh, and the Orioles broke the press very easily that time. They're very patient now. They're not making wild throws. Henderson on the right side. She pops it out to Resnick. Resnick is now playing the guard position, and now Henderson from 3. They've moved her to the wing. She misses again. Resnick tries to get the rebound. That's not good. And now they're pushing it. Oh, number 5 was Gaston. Jew Gaston wide open, and no recognition from the guard side. Ooh, could have been a travel there, John.
Good spacing by the Hawks, as they definitely are utilizing an advantage here. Good.
Johnson drives the base and then kicks it wide out to number 11 was Long. Oh, we're going to get a foul, and Henderson looks like she got popped in the face.
Well, I hope she's okay there. That ball, Johnson got a partial rebound there, and then she lost control momentarily, and Coops, 22, corralled that, which she wasn't able to finish, but she does go to the charity line. And that has been an issue for Cooper this year. We should mention Cooper on the year only shooting 57% from the free throw line. So we'll see how Coops does.
Well, and there you go. She looked a little flat there, John. The form wasn't probably where she wanted to be. You know, you see a lot of kids rush their free throws. They've got 10 seconds. Take your time, trust your form, trust your release. And that was a better effort, but no good. So Abigail Olsen with the defensive rebound. Here's Henderson pushing it up to the midcourt. She gets over the timeline. That's Addie Mae Perkins on the left side. Now she tries to go to the corner. Henderson again finds herself deep to Radiance Brown, and Radiance throws it away.
Looked like TT Long's got a hand on that, and it starts to break for the Hawks.
It's and Jew Gaston going strong. She gets fouled. And who's that on, John?
I did not catch the number of that.
Looks like 45. That could be Olsen, or was it Radiance? It was
on Olsen there, and you're going to see Jew Gaston go into the line here. And we talked about the athleticism of Cooper, even though they definitely are undersized running the 3-guard set along with a small forward and a center here.
Oh, she missed.
And I'm impressed how they're utilizing Coops as a follow, obviously, at the center spot to Dixon, who obviously was gassed after just a few minutes of play. So
Right. So number 12 entering for the Orioles, that's Amy Schultz, and she enters for, that would be Mara Henderson. Addie Mae Perkins with the defensive rebound. She kicks it over to Schultz. Schultz looking, she picks up her dribble, she goes backwards, but she throws it away to number 11, and that's Longs. Longs kicks it over to number 10, and that's Harvey.
Nice move by Longs as she
Big
created
shot
some
there.
space going right to left.
And that's going to be off of Cooper, and the Orioles will get it back. So,
yeah, Cooper with a definite chance there. I want to mention, though, as we talked about earlier, Hawks 0 for 4 in the last 35 seconds from the line. So keeping things at 8-3. We'll see if the Orioles can find a recipe to beat the trap here, Mike.
good call. So Henderson comes back in for Schultz. Resnick over to Henderson. Henderson dribbles to the middle. Now she's getting chased by 3. She picks up her dribble. She swings it to Resnick. Resnick to Addie Mae Perkins from the right side. She doesn't like her look there. She goes to Resnick. Oh, nice pass into Olsen. Olsen from the elbow. Abigail Olsen with her first basket of the night. And Resnick got the assist.
Nicely done, and she had 3-4 feet of opportunity there to let that go through at the elbow.
So the Orioles really showed some nice patience there, John. Oh, but nobody boxes out. Here's number 10. That's Harvey. She misses, and Henderson, and she dribbles through everybody. Here she comes. She's got numbers. 4-on-1. She looks for Olsen, who takes her time, and she hits it off the backboard.
Oh, beautifully done, and thank goodness she had the recognition to keep playing aggressively on the 4-on-1 there. We're going to have a momentary stop in the play, and I believe the official is going to talk to Coach Massey there. Not sure if he saw something, but they did.
Yeah, I don't know if we have the replay on that, but it was. It might have been. Sometimes they have a delay of game call. So now the Orioles find themselves down 7-8. 11:20 left here. First half action from St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Resnick pushes her left, and then nobody picks up the inside, but then Olsen corrals the defensive rebound. Addie Mae Perkins gets fouled by number Ju Gaston. Resnick tries to find. And now Henderson comes up with it. Henderson into the front court, 1-on-4. She doesn't make that, John, and no rebounding from the Orioles there.
No numbers to make that play. Nice move to create some space.
Wow, wide open, number 5, that's Ju Gaston. She hits a 3, and that moves the lead up to 4. 11-7 here in favor of the Lady Hawks. Addie Mae Perkins in the backcourt. She finds Henderson. Henderson looks up. She goes to Resnick. Resnick quickly down to Olsen. And Olsen gets, almost the end one, John. That would have been fun. Would have been a nice continuation.
And that was nice to see as the Orioles and Lauren saw a good angle there to present that pass. And Lauren Johnson definitely got a big piece of her. Johnson picks up her first foul for Cooper and first team foul.
Abby Olsen shooting 2. She's 1 of 2 from the charity stripe tonight, John. Let's see if she can keep that stretch going. Maybe 2 of 2.
I would like to see, and this has really been an entertaining game so far. We're only 7-8 minutes into the first half already, and just tons of fast-paced energy, and both teams trying to press, move the ball aggressively. Have another break here, Mike.
Yeah, well, there was some question on the foul. It looks like they are going to give it to Lauren Johnson, and then Abby's still at the line here, but I'll let her make her free throw here, and just
Mike,
off.
And I may be wrong here, Mike, but I had the score as 8-7 before Cooper hit that 2-pointer. Unless there was a 3-pointer, they've missed all their free throws.
Wow.
They're 0 for 4 officially from the free throw line.
I think you're right, John.
I think it is 10-7, but we'll have to confirm that. Hopefully somebody down low has.
And Abby makes her second. So she stays 50% at the line. She's 2 for 4. And the Orioles have closed the gap 8-11. 10:30 left, or 10.5 if you want to say. And this is number 11. That's Yu Longs. A nice crossover to the left. And she finds a wide open Gaston. Ju Gaston can't make it. And that's going to be, I guess they're going to call that off of number 13 is Asia Wheeler, who just entered the game. And now we've got Maxie Moore is in for Addie Mae Perkins. So a little more speed now.
And a substitution for the Hawks. I want to point out their third center of the half is Lexi Nance, a 5'9", 8th grader, comes in the game as well. So they've rotated 3 players between Coops, Dixon, and Nance on the low block already.
Yeah, and there we had a turnover on Henderson, who tried to push it up the right sideline, going over to number 53 is Radiance Brown. Unfortunately, she just couldn't make the handle on it. So now they've got a little bit of a trap. They added some speed now with Maxie Moore in the lineup, and they're really struggling with these cross-court passes.
Yeah.
Here's number 5, and that's Gaston. Ju Gaston goes over to number 3 is Johnson. They're the tandem. If we can stop them, I think you've got a good chance. Radiance Brown with the rebound. Henderson up to Resnick. Resnick tries to go to the corner. That's Maxie Moore. Couple of power dribbles. She doesn't use her left on that side. I'd like to see her go left once, John.
Yeah, nicely done. Nice turnaround opportunity that time for Radiance, not able to get it to fall.
Yep, you're right. Oh, and a beautiful bounce pass. Oh, unfortunately, Abby didn't give her any contest there, and that's number 13 is Aja Wheeler.
Yeah, Wheeler just fresh into the game with a fresh set of legs, and this pressing defense for Cooper, which looks like it's going to be a nonstop for the game. You can see why they're utilizing 8-9 players as well.
Oh, Henderson picked it up in the backcourt, and then there we've got a foul. That should be on number 3 is Johnson.
I believe that's her second already. She picked up one earlier.
That can only help the Lady Orioles, John. She's definitely part of the two-headed monster here.
Well said. And I'm kind of hoping for a part of the game when number 11, Yu Longs for the Hawks, comes in with her sister number 4, TT, so we can have Yu and TT in the game at the same time.
And now we've got one of the other of the sisters in the game. That's Elizabeth Hepp. Her sister is on the JV team, or the sophomore team. So Resnick gets it over to Henderson. Henderson brings it over, and she gets fouled by number 5. That's Ju Gaston. And that would be great. I mean, the 2 stars of the team getting a couple quick fouls here early in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we mentioned,
that's her first, I guess.
And as you mentioned, Lauren Johnson already with 2. We're not quite halfway through the first half.
Resnick, a quick pass to the free throw line, finding Abigail Olsen, who kicks it over to Maxie Moore, and LeRae hits a little baby jumper from the right side.
And nicely done by LeRae.
Good tip there. I'm very impressed with this Cooper team. They're very poised for as young of a team as they are with no seniors. Radiance Brown tries to clear some room. She can't get it. And then Resnick goes for the rebound, and she gets fouled. And that's going to be on number 11, Yu Long.
Yu gets the foul there.
And she's arguing.
Looks
you know, John, you hate to see her get teed up, but what are you going to do? So a beautiful defensive rebound, good position by Resnick. She gets fouled by Long, and here comes Henderson pushing it up quickly. Here's Maxie Moore. And she throws it away. There's a turnover.
And here comes Yu.
And Yu, she's going to redeem herself.
Yep. Yu with a deuce there. Yep. She's got 4 now for Yu.
Resnick picks it up. Oh, no, and Lauren picks it up, and she throws it away, but no one's coming to the ball, John.
Nice.
Beautiful pass.
What an assist.
And Resnick is a swipe to that. Underneath is a wide open number 33. There's nobody down there rebounding, John.
No, there's not, and Nance able to finish that one, 33 in the game.
That's
but
how about
a
Larry
shout?
Nance, is it?
No relation. But nice shout out to Long, though, on that almost down on that assist there.
Oh, and Moore misses a wide open layup. No rebound there. And now here we come off to the races again, John. That's Wheeler. Wheeler into the front court. Oh, and a crazy shot with the left hand, and that goes in.
Boy, it's just off to the races here. If we were at Canterbury, I wouldn't know what number to put on the horse here.
Yeah, we've got some girls that look like they're tired. Oh, Henderson with a long 3, that's no good. And Mara can't find her stroke right now.
And, you know, and Yu Longs, obviously number 11, reminds me a lot of Autumn in terms of the game she plays. And she's got the ball now in the corner.
Boy. That's a long, wild shot. That almost goes in. Radiance Brown with the defensive rebound, pushes up to Maxie Moore. Let's see if she finds Henderson. Nope, she refuses again to pass the ball. And Resnick with the offensive rebound. Oh, and it was a good rebound, but unfortunately she throws it to number 5, and that's Gaston. Ju Gaston goes in. She misses the layup, and that's...
Wow. Hate to see that fundamentally. The 2 or 3 misses for the Hawks, obviously, on layup situations.
Look, Henderson's tired. There's Abigail Olsen from the elbow, and she misses. And does she get a rebound? No, she doesn't get a rebound, and the Orioles are basically 1 and out every time, John.
And there's a lot of tired bodies on here. And there's something you don't see. Right side of the hoop, she switches to the left hand.
Second time in a row she's done that, and they've got to find out something to do about Wheeler. Wheeler has been unstoppable in the last minute. She's got 6 points. And we're at the 7-minute mark here in St. Louis Park. The Orioles find themselves down by 11. 21-10, John. What do you think is going on? What do they have to do to rebound from this?
Well, and I was going to say, first things first, obviously good use of some timeouts here. You know, we don't officially have TV timeouts in high school basketball, but I think Coach Massey maybe wishes we did. I have officially the Hawks have utilized 11 players so far with that pressing style they use as well. And I think Coach Massey is going to really have to juggle things to not only consistently beat the press, but also to make sure his girls offensively, when they're trying to beat the press in their own zone, go high on the delivering their passes on their cross courts, because between Longs and Johnson, they've got their hands on all kinds of passes to create turnovers. So Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Massey in his first year of coaching at the varsity level as the head coach. And, you know, this will really test him because, you know, a lot of times the varsity coaches are really successful when they know how to make in-game adjustments.
Well, I'm interested to see what adjustment the Orioles make here as the two big young ladies, Coops and Nance in together on the backside of possibly on the backside of the 2-1-2 here.
So the Orioles make a switch. There's Amy Schultz who goes in. She gets blocked from behind, gets her own rebound. And now she's stuck. She's going to get a 3-second call. And it's tipped out of bounds. So a quick substitution there at the timeout. Addie Mae Perkins, number 24, and number 12, Amy Schultz, now back in for the Lady Orioles. And Radiance Brown and Lauren Resnick are going to get a breather. 6:43 here left. Let's see if we can get a shot. The Orioles have really struggled offensively.
Orioles had the picket fence.
Addie Mae was open in the corner. Oh, and then Amy Schultz gets her tip. Now we've got 3 girls on the left side. They're kind of overloading the zone. Now they've got it spread. Cooper sitting back in a 2-3 zone.
I think that's a wise adjustment for Coach Buford with the 2 bigger young ladies in the game, too, to go to the 2-3 instead of a 2-1-2 here.
Yep, and they did take out Nixon. She's out. So their big post is out of the game, so maybe they're going for speed now.
Yep.
Oh, good footwork on number 23. She misses.
That's Hep who launched that. Yep.
Rebound, Maxie Moore. Maxie Moore into the front court. She goes to Henderson.
You know, you have the feeling, Mike, even though it's 21-10, if the Orioles could work some offense here, be a little patient offensively.
And Maxie Moore throws it away.
Yeah, be a little patient because Cooper does play kind of a wild, aggressive style. We've seen him miss several layups. We've seen the problems they have at the free throw line. So I think there's some reason for optimism if St. Louis Park can just try to remain calm and keep their disposition addressed.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. You've got some people that are playing in spots where, you know, you need them to make good passes, and there you could see, you know, Lorraine kicks it. That's just going to be a stopped time violation there. So
Hep going to inbounds here. Yeah, I think good insight there, Mike, as you will. And have the Orioles seen this much of a pressing team as the season's gone on? Has this been commonplace?
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
There's been a few teams that have been very aggressive. And, you know, it's interesting because we haven't, again with the left, we've been breaking the press nicely, but once we get into the front court, that's where we seem to struggle.
Yep.
So, and that's Addie Mae cannot hang on to that. So that's another turnover for the Orioles. And it's now 23-10 with 5:25 left, John. And Cooper continues its substitutions.
Yeah, TT Long's 4 back in the game. We've got another sub. I don't know if this young lady's been in, number 12.
Nope, she hasn't been in yet,
Relaford. And I think that's everyone on the roster except for Sutton who's already been in. And obviously at the high energy tempo. So TT Long's 4 in the game. Her sister, Yu, number 11.
So Abby gets a tip on that. Lorraine into the front court, and she can't hang on. There she goes. She re-corrals the ball. Henderson from 3. No, she finds Olsen underneath on the low block.
Oh,
and
nice.
Abigail Olsen with the basket. So Abby Olsen has pretty much been the offense so far. It's been Abby and Lorraine.
And Abby with
that could be a foul.
Nice play there.
That was a good no call. And Lorraine goes to the floor. Schultz goes to the floor. Oh, and number 4 is TT Longs, and she's throwing elbows. And they call a jump ball.
Well, love to see that hustle for the Orioles there, as I believe that was Lorraine who went hard on TT. Cooper going to retain it on the alternate possession. But I wanted to say, Mike, on the last basket that Abby scored, they're running the 2-3, but they're a little undersized in the middle with Nance playing in the middle there. So good call to go inside to Abby there.
It's
a little height advantage, yeah.
Oh, and there's a steal by Moore. Is she going to get caught from behind? She's going 1-on-3. And she does not decide to pass. She's going to pull up. And, you know, I think that's been the big nix on her this year, John. She really doesn't see the floor very well. There's girls that have been open, and she continues to throw up shots. So, you know, sometimes it pays just to slow down and maybe get a good shot. And unless she's been coached to continue to attack the basket like that, sometimes 1-on-3 isn't always a good thing.
Well, and even though there wasn't another Oriole as Amy Schultz was on the backside, Amy was being boxed out as she ran down the floor. So it really was a 1-on-3. No opportunity. Nice advantage here for St. Louis Park. Does have another foul. Is that on Mara Henderson?
Is that her third? I had her down for 2.
I did not have that. But again, I missed Charity's toss for the Hawks as TT Longs misses that one. They're 0 for 5 officially from the line that I have.
Yeah, definitely an area of opportunity. Think about if they were to make these free throws, John, they would probably be up by 30-12 at this point.
Absolutely.
Second shot, and she can't hit it again. So Orioles keep the lid on the basket for them. Addie Mae Perkins corrals it in the corner. Oh no, too late. No, she gets it to Amy. Oh, and Amy dribbles off her leg. And that's going to be a turnover on the Orioles.
I just want to say bad luck there. Lauren Johnson was pressing there. I thought she made some contact with the Oriole player. It might have been whistled there. And then what do you have happen? But really an unforced error goes off her foot and out of bounds.
Correct.
Oh, nice hustle play by Lorray.
And she finishes the basket. So
nice to see that. The Orioles needed a shot in the arm. Let's see if I can pick them up here.
So with the 14 points, Olsen and Lorray have all of them. Henderson stays in the game with 3 fouls. She gets a defensive rebound. She's pushing it up. And she's attacking the basket. And she pulls back. She had Schultz in the corner. Amy gives a ball fake. She takes 2 drives with the left, goes up with the right. Basket!
Nice to see that as the Orioles cut into this margin. Nice to see, obviously, Mara had a same situation, a 1-on-3. She didn't rush it. She pulled it out, ran some offense there.
It would be nice to see Mara give some mentoring to Lorray on that, because, you know, that she just showed there a little patience, and they got a good basket. Here's Schultz pushing it up. No, she pulls it back, and now she waits for everybody to catch up. Here's Henderson. Henderson at the top. She goes deep to Addie Mae Perkins. She turns right, and the basket.
Beautifully done.
One.
And the Orioles go inside again, and Nance 33 in the middle of that 2-3, like we talked about. A little undersized at 5'9". Orioles with a height advantage, it seems like, and a skill advantage with Addie Mae. And the other thing I noticed there, good substitution for the Hawks here. One thing we noticed on the last play there, Mike, 22, Kiera Coops on the backside of the 2-3 was exhausted. The Orioles had a young lady down on the baseline that was wide open if we would have tried a 3.
Good. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Actually. So Perkins shooting 1.
And Kiera Coops in the game.
And she misses her free throw. And no rebound by the Orioles. So the stutter step and the foul. Wow. That's going to be on Schultz, I believe.
What a stop-and-go move by Yu Longs. Obviously, you got Yu Longs 11 and TT 4, and I can only imagine the one-on-one games they have in the driveway.
You got. I'm sure it's very competitive.
And Yu just a junior, her sister TT a freshman for the Hawks. Hawks looking for their first made free throw of the half. They're 0 for 6 now.
And she misses again. So I can only imagine what they're going to be doing in practice tomorrow, John.
It is a Friday night game. Often you don't want to have a Saturday practice, but Coach Buford with her hands on her hips over here, and I know why.
And that, the bank is open.
She did not call the bank, but we have to credit it as one. So
24-18 now in favor of the Lady Hawks. Lorray forces a layup, and that goes off of Radiance Brown and over to the Lady Hawks.
That was a 1-on-2 situation down low. She had 4 sets of arms to put that over, too. A really tough shot for her to finish.
You know, one of the missing pieces tonight for the Orioles is 6-foot Skylar Nagorski, senior.
Yeah,
I had heard earlier in the week she was struggling from some complications of a concussion, but I did not know what happened. So here's Henderson pushing it up. Boy, they're hustling back quickly, John. Everything. Oh, what a block! Wow! Number 11, Yu Longs just took Lorray to school.
And that was a nice distribution by Mara. It looks like the Hawks are going to tie up the Orioles here. Wow, thrown out of bounds.
Yeah.
The officials, I think we might have got a break there. Oriole ball. Well, call that last sequence. That was great. Mara gave up the rock nicely to Lorray. She didn't have an angle, and then it was time.
It was quite the facial by number 11, Yu Long, who will be opening up a beauty salon over the weekend for all the facials she's been putting on tonight.
Oh, good call, Mike.
She just took her to school.
That was nice to see, though.
Here's Addie Mae Perkins from downtown. She misses a 3. And now look at the fast break. See if she gives it up.
Travel by Yu.
There we go. We got a break there.
You know, Yu looked for Ju Gaston, who was wide open on the backside, and Ju had an angle there, but it looked like Yu didn't know what to do with the rock that time.
So Hep comes in for Nance for the Lady Hawks.
Yep.
And now we've got Addie Mae Perkins, and the press stays on. So 24-18, Henderson in front of the bench. She finds Amy Schultz, who finds Radiance Brown, who takes one dribble, elbow shot. It's good! Radiance Brown from Amy Schultz.
And Dixon really backed off there, the big lady, so she had an uncontested 15-footer.
You know, it's rare to see the girls pull up with uncontested. So Lorray tries to get a steal, and then, and it gets stolen right back. Here comes number 5, Ju Gaston. And a beautiful hop step up the baseline. Amy Schultz gets the defensive rebound. She drop passes to Henderson.
She deflected that to herself really nice.
It was very nice, very controlled. Henderson over to the corner. That's LeRae. She takes one dribble inside the three. Too much. Amy Schultz. Oh, she had the offensive rebound and then the miss.
And I thought LeRae was going to announce, and here's Yu on the break.
Pushing. Oh, and a beautiful find. That was a play right there. Very unselfish. And she finds Raina Dixon wide open underneath, uncontested. Nobody's in the middle right now, John.
Yeah, and you're right with Dixon. That is 6-3
and a turnover now.
And the Orioles had cut it to 4 there. It is a 6-point advantage now as Dixon was able to get the deuce. Dixon going to slide out of the game. And we mentioned we hadn't seen one of the players. We have now Alicia Sutton now in the game, the last player on the Hawk bench, 21.
Yeah, and Alicia was a starter.
Boy, she's got some height in there.
Yep. So, interesting story about Alicia. She was a starter, and she's been sick. So she's working her way back into some playing time.
Well, I tell you what, last one off the bench today, but 4th different big lady we've seen for the Hawks in 1.5, Mike.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's none of them are in foul trouble, so you wonder if it's a conditioning thing because they're all bigger girls, and you know, you wonder if they can keep up with those little rugrats that they've got, you know, that are moving the ball up.
Well, it'd be interesting to see, too, if they saw a really aggressive pressing team against them, how that would affect their big people as well. You're right.
And she misses the free throw. A big rebound by number 11 is Longs, and that was Yu Longs. She can't convert. Now here's Henderson into the front court. Schultz on the left side from 3. No good. And off to the races. This is number 10 is Harvey. Harvey pushing it up quickly. She goes to the left side, shoots it with the right, and it's good.
Little unorthodox again there, but you know, the Hawks release so well, whether it's on a made basket or on a miss, they release at least 2 of their.
And there we go. Nobody told Amy that Yu Longs was coming from behind. Again, John, you got to talk on offense, on defense. Nobody told her. They left her out to dry. They're just fortunate that they get the ball back.
Yeah, really well documented there, Mike. And 28-20, just 52 seconds remaining in the first stanza. Oh, baseline wide open, Schultz.
Yep. So that was Radiance Brown gets her ball slightly tipped. And again, it's Yu Longs who finds herself wide open.
She released beautifully, and she had the angle to receive the pass.
Henderson with 3 fouls. She can't even contest. Here's LeRae. She's going to go right into her. Oh, and she gets blocked, gets her own rebound, and it's good.
One thing you got to say about LeRae, she is completely fearless. Whether she gets the ball blocked or whether she makes a mistake, she's going to keep going at it. So,
well, they call her the Tasmanian Devil, and for her whirling dervish, but she, you know, I don't think she ever met a shot she didn't like, John.
Mike, love the analogy there. That's why you're one of the best in the business. You can reach into your bag of tricks and pull out the Tasmanian Devil.
Well, I actually didn't coin her that. It was someone on the team. I'm just repeating what I heard.
Well, you're a great messenger, and I'm glad to have you up here with me. Sutton at the line.
Is this her first attempt of the night?
Yep, it is, as she's new into the game.
Well, good. I like the
nice
release.
form.
Excellent
yeah.
form. And you know, John, if you see the backspin on the ball there, it was perfect. Perfect rotation. So even if she does hit the front of the rim, that's going to bounce and roll right in. So good to see. She's got big hands.
Yeah, Lisa.
Get that nice rotation again. Look at that form. Well done by Alicia Sutton.
Back to 10.
Schultz in the front court again. Nobody tells her, and she loses the ball. And that's number 5, the extremely fast Ju Gaston. That's number 11 is Longs, and she misses. And is anyone there? Amy's underneath for the rebound.
Just want to say
the clock is still running.
Oh, they'll have to reset probably till 7 or 8 as it's down to 3, but I'm sure Coach may also get that.
Yeah.
But Mike, the aggressiveness of Ju Gaston on the drive there, and I just wanted to mention, she was 1-on-2 with Long over here on the near side, but the penetration made the 2 Oriole defenders back up in their own zone, almost underneath the basket. Created a great angle for Long to receive the pass and be wide open on the shot. So like to see the Orioles step up aggressively defensively a little bit more there.
LeRae flings up a shot, no good. Radiance Brown with the rebound, and it gets deflected out of bounds. So 0.2 seconds left. This has just got to be a quick tip.
Yeah, let's see if Radiance just tries to go up with one hand and receive the Adame lob.
It's got to be quick. It's got to be quick. Oh, it didn't get it off in time, and Henderson misses the 3. So halftime here, Orioles 22, Lady Hawks 32. And at half, we're going to stay with it because it's travel night. They're going to be announcing all the travel team members from St. Louis Park girls basketball.
Yeah, you know, the Orioles really did a nice job cutting back into that 10-point lead. They had got it down to 4 there with about 2.5 to go. Cooper does go deep into it, and the press utilizes some more breaks and opportunities, and they get the 10-point advantage as we head to half.
It's a good shout out. So we've got
Mike Resnick on the call. Mike's really done a nice job putting together an acknowledgement of the 5 different traveling teams that are being recognized here. Not sure if we can get a camera to slide over to the young ladies who will be walking towards center court here, but 4th through 8th grade girls.
Yep. So they're starting off with McCrae Alexander, Ellie Collins, Emma Collins, Abby Ellington, Cameron Haley, Sadie Lund, Jordan McMahon, and Bailey Turk. And their coach is Mike Collins. Oh, and Sophie Nagorski.
And now the 4th grade orange team, as there are 2 clubs. Abby Bowden, number 22. You see Samantha Meyer, 31, all excited to come out. There's Sophie Meyer with her hands raised. Isis Morrow, 25. Jasmine Rollins, no relation to Tree Rollins, 32. Evie Schmitz at 30. Alyssa Stahl, Ruby Maisie, and Keel, I believe that's Keeve Hegdahl.
And now we're going to be bringing out the 6th grade black team. Reagan Alexander, Emma Ammon, Ella Atlas, Ellie Austed, Molly Austed, Zoe Borad, Clara Halverson, Elena Jeremiah, Faith Johnson, and Sadie Yarosh. And the team is coached by Chad Austed, who's a teacher at St. Louis Park Senior High School, Joe Borad, and James Yarosh, a Park graduate.
And what a run they're having, 14-4 on the season. Take a look at some of the other young ladies from the 6th grade orange team, some 6th and 7th graders, I believe, on here. Ariana Andrews, Karina Bennett, Adriana Bynum, Sadie Flood, number 51, Kyla Grace, Olivia Kruger, Kahari Mayfield, Selly Ullman, Bally Stevens, and Janelle Watkins for that team.
That team is coached by Rob Flood and Michael Docken. And now we're bringing out the 8th grade black team, which is a combination of 7th and 8th graders. We've got Summer Christofferson, Molly Hollett, Kaylee Hansen Maloney. We've got Sydney Hausfield, Dana House, Olivia Moore, Jessica Valdez, Zoe Younger, Raven Wilborn, Britta Bjorgard, Rachel Young, and that coach also coached by Coach Daryl House. Coach House is the JV coach and the assistant varsity coach. So a lot of good things happening.
He's not busy enough. He needs to coach the traveling 8th grade too, right?
So some interesting things we want to point out. St. Louis Park girls basketball. If you go to www.St. Louis Park Girls Basketball or basketballassociation.com, it's a shared website, but for the boys and the girls programs, they've set up a 2015 scholarship fund, and John's got some details here on the scholarship fund. You want to give us some of the highlights?
Before we break for the half, and thank you, Mike, for that nice introduction there. Wonderful to see the young ladies all recognized with their coaches. Once again, as Mike said, if you go to St. Louis Park Traveling, is it travelingbasketball.com?
St. Louis Park basketballassociation.com.
Yep. The Girls Basketball Scholarship Fund is a brand new program. A child's athletic pursuit oftentimes can be costly when they go to the next level. The financial commitment that is required to participate can definitely be a hardship for most families in St. Louis Park. In order to support the families who may need some help, they are asking for the participation in the scholarship fund, brand new. All of the proceeds from this fundraiser go directly to the families of the athletes who need help. On January 19th, which I believe is Tuesday night, we'll be kicking off our Spirit Wear basketball fundraiser. This Tuesday, the fundraiser runs through February 2nd. The goal for each player in the program is to sell 6 different items. Please see, there's an enclosed order form that you can find on that website, I believe.
There should be information on the website.
Yeah, so go to the website. And then they're awarding, for each of the young ladies that sells, I assume, at least 6 items or more, they will award a hat, bag, and T-shirt to the top seller from each team, I assume, traveling in high school. And then make sure, you folks, if you're listening at home, once again, go to the website, print out the form, or ask a young lady if you know needs to be back in by February 2nd. And then the items are going to be brought back to you by February 15th. Some rumors that there might be an autographed Mike Resnick 3x5 is just a bonus for any of the young ladies who sells more than 100 items. But I don't know if that's a possibility, but we'll look into that But again, the website, St. Louis Park Basketball Association.com for all your boys and girls information. Write that down. If your kids are even remotely interested in possibly playing basketball, if they're in 3rd grade, maybe playing pee-wee ball, going over to the Golden Valley, Community Center or Crystal, Mike, it's great. You tell them how easy it is to get involved in 4th grade too.
Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity, and you can't start the kids early enough. So rec ball is always a great way to start. Not a lot of pressure, gives them good exposure to the game, and then they can see if they really like it before they expand. Because the travel program, it's pretty aggressive. You're talking about 10 to 12 weekends over winter, and as you know, John, as a parent of a couple hockey players, that basketball and hockey are the longest season. So it is a time commitment, and so getting started early, it's a good exposure. It's a nice way for them to see if it's something that'll take, and then they can move on, and they could be as involved with it as they want to be.
Well, and Mike is somebody who not only can make that statement, but he has put his money where his mouth is. I mean, Lauren obviously going through the whole gamut of activities, as well as being involved with a Minnesota Hustle fall and spring program that, I know you're not one to toot your own horn, but that Minnesota Hustle program, a great AAU opportunity that gives the girls even more chance to participate and improve their skills if they do find themselves really interested and committed and get their family involvement. So we just want to see more girls continue to compete. I think a lot of times, Mike, on the girls' side, people don't realize that in the 80s and 90s when you and I were around, Park was one of the premier girls basketball programs in the whole state. Numbers went down a little. You had the advent of girls hockey, but you've got a lot of people like Mr. Austed we saw here that are committed to try to push this thing through and get the numbers and the performance back up, as you have tried as well with your family.
Yeah, no, it's great, John. I think too, and girls realize that if you put in the time and work on your skills, you find out, like in any sport, that you can work your way into positions of opportunity. And one of the things that we've done at Minnesota Hustle is we try to make sure that the kids work on skills and fundamentals every practice, because you go to any game and you go to warm-ups and you'll see from the high school, college, pro, all of the players are out there before the game, 2 hours, 3 hours, doing shoot-arounds, working on their ball handling, stretching out, and really. Even you take it over to golf. Tiger Woods, he plays a round of golf, and what is he doing after the round? He's on the driving range for another 2 hours. So I think it transfers over to most sports.
Well, a good call on that as well. And you're right. I mean, I worked for 7 years with the Timberwolves, and on game days even, you often see the visiting team running their shoot around from 10 to 11 a.m. on a game day, and numerous players, even when they're on the road, staying involved for another hour to work to throw up 100 free throws or to work on a specific area of the court where they're having problems. So that's great. And your Minnesota Hustle program has really attracted, I'm not trying to plug your program, but for young ladies or people listening, that Minnesota Hustle program has attracted a lot of the St. Louis Park girls, and they've bonded a lot, and you've been able to keep a lot of them together on some of the teams, have you not?
Yeah, it was really nice. So at some point we've had just about all of the varsity seniors in the program, which is great. And but not just to play with themselves, but to get coaching from other coaches around the metro, to get a different voice, also to play with other girls around the metro area as well. And I can speak from a few of these girls that have played with kids from other communities like Shakopee, Maple Grove, Plymouth, all over, St. Paul. So it's been a lot of fun, and you really start to foster relationships that hopefully will last a lifetime.
Yeah, it really, team sports are just wonderful too. And the other, all the life lessons the girls learn, and even for the Orioles seniors that are going to graduate this year, you just know a lot of them are going to continue, even if it be intramural basketball or different types of adult leagues as well. And almost nothing can replace the camaraderie you get in team sports as well when you work together, practice together. Yeah. And
you literally spend more time with your team than you do with your family. If you think about it, they're going to school all day, then they're doing practices. They're playing basketball 6 days a week. So you really, you better like what you're doing, and you better get along, because it's a long time to spend with someone if you're not enjoying yourself.
Kind of like marriage, exactly.
Well, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, before we break, we're almost ready to start the second half. Just a quick scoring summary. I guess the big thing I wanted to throw out for Cooper, Mike, was Yu Longs, who started the game, to me was probably, along with Ju Gaston, super impressive. The junior for Cooper, I believe what I have officially here is she has 8 points to lead the Hawks in scoring as well. And then they had a really balanced attack as Lauren Johnson had a pair. You had Ju Gaston with 4. I believe that's Makia Harvey had 4 points as well. And Asia Wheeler with 4. Raina Dixon only with a deuce. But, you know, the other thing is we talk about 4 different big young ladies as they've rotated, you know, the 2-1-2, the 2-3. You know, the one thing I'd like to see is if the Orioles get Raina Dixon, number 30, you know, she's not starting, but I'd like to see the Orioles really work it down on the baseline more. If they run that 2-1-2 again, the Orioles had so many open looks early on, especially with Mara, and we're only down 10 here, Mike. So I really think Coach Massey, what do you think he said to the Orioles to try to get him going here?
Well, I think hopefully they made the point that we still need to stay offensive, John. I don't think that we got enough shots off in the first half. You know, we spent so much time and energy trying to break the press that once we got into the front court, our offense just didn't seem to respond. So here we go. 18 minutes on the clock. We're starting half number 2. Orioles down 32-22, and the Hawks will throw it in. Starting for the Orioles are the same 5 that started the game. You've got Maxie Moore, you've got Henderson, Resnick, Addie Mae Perkins. Oh, there could be a travel. Yes, it is. And rounding it out with Abigail Olson. So it was an interesting pass, John. They went down to the baseline quickly to try and get something happening, but she caught the ball and did a little 2-step. Oh, and Addie Mae Perkins turns it over because it was not a made basket. So
yeah, she got, I believe she shuffled her feet a little bit there.
Yeah,
you know,
you're not allowed to walk the baseline until only on a scored basket, so or a made basket, if you will. So here we go, Cooper throwing it in underneath their own basket. And that's a long 3, no good. Olson tries to get the rebound. That might have been tipped by 22, and 22 is...
Yeah, that's Coops, who's a sub in the game.
And interesting, because Coops didn't start the game, John, but she's starting the second half.
Yeah.
Addie Mae Perkins throwing it in, and she throws it out of bounds, but it was tipped by number 3, Johnson. Or excuse me, number 5, that's Ju Gaston.
Orioles are going to sub in here,
Yep.
It looks...
So we got a quick substitution. That's Amy Schultz coming in for Addie Mae Perkins. Addie was struggling a couple of times on that inbounds pass, so let's see if Amy can have some better luck. So here's what Amy finds Abigail Olson. She finds Maxie Moore. Maxie Moore coming in. That's Lorraine. Oh, and she lost it going up, but she got her own rebound. Then she throws to the ground, and that's Abigail Olson. And Olson throws it away. Oh, but then Henderson corrals that. So, John, some sloppy play early here in the set. Oh, and she had Resnick open, but she goes to Lorraine Moore, and she gets her shot blocked.
Boy, hands.
And that was Coop.
Boy, there's hands everywhere. And here's a big-time drive by Dixon all the way, or Harvey all the way to the deuce, and she finishes there.
Yep. The Orioles are just being out-hustled right now, John. The Cooper Hawks are playing with a little more swagger.
Yeah, and you know, and we've talked about the pressing that Johnson, Longs, Gaston, and Harvey have done as well, but the hands are just nonstop as well in terms of harassing, and there's
she
a
gets
sample
stolen
of it.
again.
Boy, that's that UU Longs.
Look at how
nice.
they pushed the ball up nice. A beautiful right-handed bounce pass. She found a cutting Lauren Johnson with the basket, and now the Orioles are down 36-22.
And that's that UU Longs distributing a nice assist as well again that time.
Schultz over to Resnick. Resnick quickly swings it over to Henderson. Henderson, now, oh, there's a big pick by Resnick. She rolls, finds Abigail Olson. Oh, and Resnick wasn't ready to shoot. Into Olson again. Olson shoots, she misses. That's Lorraine with the offensive rebound. Olson gets it, and Resnick goes to the floor. It's a scrum again, John. And now it's number 10 is Harvey. Harvey into the front row. Blows right by Henderson. Off to 22 is Coop. Nobody's rebounding, John.
No, Harvey. Oh, and here's another.
And
wow.
then Coop again, and Abigail Olson couldn't box her out.
That was the fourth opportunity down there as well for the Hawks.
So Resnick brings it over. She finds Henderson. Henderson will dribble. She's a very slow. Oh, she picks it up in the backcourt, and that could be. Here's Lorraine Maxie Moore. She dribbles into the middle, into traffic. Here's Schultz. Schultz goes strong. She stops. She pops. No good. And Olson can't hang on, but fortunate for the Orioles, Coops tips it out of bounds.
And Lorraine got a little lucky there because she drove right into the double team, and she had a size disadvantage, but luckily she was able to find a teammate. You know, again, it's starting out somewhat ragged as the first half did, and we'll see if Coach Massey can try to get this under control.
Yeah,
it's only 16, and again, it was a 4-point game late in the first.
Yeah, they're coaching confused right now, John. It's very challenging. They just put in a substitution. That's Camille Mayfield. Schultz goes to the ground.
Harvey got
Fall on Moore,
yep.
Maxi Moore.
Harvey shaking her head, unfortunately, for the Hawks. Now I can imagine the Hawks, as the Orioles do as well, with a lot of depth on their team. They must have some really competitive pressing practices and a lot of conditioning drills with their.
You're right. Think about that. When you can practice against that kind of speed, it's amazing that their record isn't better, but I think that probably has something to do with their inexperience.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, Mike, they only lost a 1-point game against Kennedy the other day, and there's, oh boy, there's Yu Long's, to me, the best player on the court today.
Yep, she's really done well. Her and Ju Gaston, Gaston almost gets the steal. She tips it away from Henderson. Argumentatively, that could have been off of number 3.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about big things sometimes come in small packages, and isn't that true?
I agree, John. Plays with a lot of heart out there. Mayfield stole it from Olsen, and then she gets the ball turned over.
There's Gaston again. She's going to pull up from 15.
Yeah, nobody. She really wasn't pressured at all. Oh, she goes for the steal, and then they're going to get her on a foul. Is that 2 on her now, number 5?
Yeah, I believe that's 2 on her as well. Yep, nobody else with more than 2. Johnson also with a pair. Mike, I didn't catch that substitution for St. Louis Park, number 5 in the game now, is that correct?
Camille Mayfield.
Oh, you mentioned her as well.
Yep, she came in for Lauren Resnick. And now Olsen on the right base, she picks up her dribble. Here's Schultz, left-handed drive. She puts up the left-handed shot. She misses. Olsen can't get the rebound. No rebounding right now for the Orioles. It's very challenging without Skylar, our leading rebounder.
Yeah,
we're really missing a lot of space in the middle, and it doesn't help when.
That's a big shout out.
Yep.
That's a big shout out. We've seen Skylar this is the 4th year I've seen her play, and it's a big loss tonight.
Abby throws it right into the hands of number 11, Yu Long, who slaps it out of bounds.
Well, I was going to say, too, besides what the great insight you gave there on that, obviously without Skylar, too, Abby's, her battery's got to be running a little empty going against all the Hawk bigger players down low.
Yeah, she's had a lot of playing time. Radiance has played more time tonight, too, to make up for Skylar.
I believe she kicked it off her foot, Mara, there, unfortunately.
So it's starting to get a little out of hand now, 22-41 in favor of the Lady Hawks. And again, a substitution. They are just wearing the Orioles down with these substitutions and constant switches on the ball.
And a 9-0 run to start the second half, and I believe 13-0 overall here, so.
Yeah, and the Oriole bench has gone quiet. I'm not hearing a lot of chatter or coaching. And
number 3, Lauren Johnson gets a deuce there.
Yep.
Hawks maintain the pressure.
So Henderson picks up the ball on the right elbow. She finds Lorraine Maxi Moore, who pulls up on the right side. She misses, and they're off to the races again.
Hawks release well off the missed basket. Nicely done with the left hand underneath, Mike.
Yep, and I think they're going to get number 3 is Lauren Johnson over the back.
That's her 3rd if it is on Johnson. That's their substitution for Cooper. Lexi Nance, Larry Nance's long-lost daughter in the game.
And number 33 for the Hawks, that's Lexi Nance. Oh, you just said that, I'm sorry. See what happens when you, I'm still on Tennessee time.
Yes,
I apologize,
you are.
folks.
Mike was Nashville ready this week. He spent some time in the Grand Ole Opry City.
Yeah, it was fun. I did a little scouting for the Predators, so it was a lot of fun to be down at the game and really enjoyed my time there. They really rolled out the red carpet. It was a lot of fun. And so here's Camille into the front court. Camille's being hawked by number 4 is TT Long. And then she throws it over to Maxi Moore, who's going to go in. She shoots, and I didn't see the foul there, but they're going to get number 22, and that's Kiera Coops.
Coops, who likes hoops, going to get saddled with that's her first, I believe. Nice to see the Long sisters finally out there together. TT number 4 and UU 11.
The Orioles have played 4.5 minutes without a point, John. That's,
right.
You can't do that and expect to compete. And Lorraine Moore misses her first of 2. Lorraine Maxi Moore. You know, the Orioles had a lineup that was very successful in the first 4 or 5 games, and they've really gone away from that. And I'm not exactly sure what the experiment is, John, but it's not working.
Yeah, and once again, you're down Autumn and you're down Skylar as well here too tonight.
Yeah. Well, it seems like a lot of the girls are playing out of position. The girls that really had a lot of success over the last 2 years, I think they're trying some new things. But sometimes if it's not working, you got to try and fix it.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with the effort I saw against the Gilreath-led Fridley team in that game we called first home game of the season.
Over and back call. So number 11 is Yu Long. I think that's the first mistake she's might have made all night.
Yeah, I was going to say she momentarily flustered by the Oriole defender.
Yep.
Nice to see Mara Henderson get the Orioles on the board here.
25-45. Lead is cut to 20. Uh-oh. Maxie Moore gets the ball tipped. Wheeler strips her, and then are they going to get a foul? Or is it out of bounds? Could be a foul on Maxie Moore. That might be her third.
This is, and watching this Cooper team as well, the thing that's kind of somewhat scary is every single girl they're running out here, all 12 players are going to be back for them next year.
Oh yeah, they're going to be fun to watch.
Their youth is so well served, and even though Kiera Buford, probably looks at this as a rebuilding season, should be a fun team to watch. Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh,
nobody challenged her at all. She blew by Luray, and then Radiance didn't really come over to help out.
No, there was no slide over either by, I thought Addie May would at least slide over to contest the left-handed layup, but she didn't read it, I guess, so.
We've got girls that are out there that don't normally play a lot of defense, and, the weak side defense is so important.
Yeah.
There's Henderson from 3, that's good.
Mara again, she's got all 6 in the half here, I believe.
Yep, she had a 2 and a 3, so. Oh, and look at this. Again with the left hand.
She goes to the right and throws it with the left. A little, Augie Schmidt would call that definitely unorthodox, and you're staying after practice tonight.
That Aja Wheeler, I think she's trying to work herself in the starting rotation.
Yeah, she's only the 8th grader. Again, that's Wheeler and Nance are only 8th graders.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Oriole bench, and the coaches seem to be deflated. They're very quiet, not very animated. The girls are not very animated. There's still 12 minutes left in this game, John.
Yeah, there's still a lot to build on, and by no means, if the Orioles can run some offense.
Oh, and Addie Mae Perkins gets the ball stolen away. And what a break. Number 4 is TT Longs, was trying to pass it to number 5, Ju Gaston, and they're laughing it off. I think she probably took her eye off the ball, right?
Right, Juice says to TT, hey, my bad, you gave up the rock and I couldn't finish.
That's right. So she gave her the dime, but she didn't get it.
Exactly.
Here's Moore on the right side. She tries to dribble through 3.
Wow.
She gets her shot blocked by number 21. That's Sutton. And then Sutton comes up with the rebound.
Wow, and we saw Gaston just go diving.
Look at that move.
There was so much running involved. I thought we were at a track meet there.
Boy, a hot dog and a shake on that one, kids.
Good cross.
Mara does a nice job to find Luray, and Luray can't finish.
One of the first times in the game the Orioles have been able to go cross court in the break with speed and get the ball in a nice transition hoop. Almost.
We saw a lot of success with that early in the year.
Yeah.
I think Henderson to Resnick in the Blake game a couple times, and then we had Henderson to Luray at the Farmington game maybe. So
Luray's got a very unique free throw style, doesn't she, Mike? The way she squares her feet almost towards the bench a little bit. She's got a nice little hop in her step there.
The coaches have twisted some of them around a little bit. If you notice, she's almost 45-degree angle to the left.
Right.
And I guess my concern is that they're not square, but she finished that one, so who's going to argue with it?
That's kind of the way I used to shoot them for King Tash and his Knights of the Round Ball.
But
I was a solid 48% free thrower.
I got to tell you, John, it was the talent on that team to this day. Unbelievable. And that's going to be Henderson. Is that her 4th?
Yeah.
It is her 4th, and let's see if they make a switch.
Well, she played for a long time with 3, because I think you said she got her 3rd maybe halfway through the half.
Yeah,
so.
And they're leaving her out there. I think they're just going to play it out, or they're not paying attention because she's going to be told, nobody plays defense, and number 5 is Ju Gaston, who weaved her way in. And now here's Moore going 1-on-2, and she misses the layup. And then Radiance Brown comes down to try and give Sutton a little bit of the something-something. And here comes TT Longs into the front court. That's number 12 is Relaford. Oh, look at, how about some defense, John?
Yeah, TT going to finish right there. No step up for the Orioles defensively. And maybe another turnover here.
And then Mayfield loses the ball, and now we're going to get a jump.
And the Orioles, you can tell they're definitely wearing down. I think you've only had 3 subs in the second half here as we've as 7 minutes have elapsed already, and the Hawks, as we mentioned, Addie May going to come in the game.
No, Abby.
Or Abby, I'm sorry.
So Abby's going in. Oh, there's an interesting switch. She brings in our big person for Maxie Moore. And
Yeah.
Maxie Moore, I'm not sure. You'd think they'd keep her in and give Mara a little bit of a blow here because Mara's playing with 4 falls.
She has it, and I can understand why Coach Massey isn't going to take Mara out because she had the first 5 points of the half. So
yeah, maybe. Oh, now I think they're going to see Amy Schultz going in the game. Amy's coming in for Mara, so I think he heard you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, well, I was going to say it's really. I mean, when the Hawks, as a very smaller athletic team, are playing 12, you got to imagine the Orioles got to at least in a game like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really understanding the coaching here. We don't have our hands team in there.
Well, and we're trying to do, unfortunately, this is not the kind of team defensively where you can try to get, we're not going to get a lot of dribble penetration because of their speed as well defensively and their lateral quickness. So it's, have to try to go over the top a lot more passing, etc. So
and we probably have one of our slowest teams out there. Oh, and it looks like they're going to give Stephanie Reuter a chance. Here's Abby Olson with a defensive rebound and kicks it over to Schultz. Schultz over the timeline. She's going in hard. And fouled on the shots.
Almost a nice finish there from Amy, and another missed little bunny there, but she had a little bit too much on that one.
Yep. Yeah, you'd really like to see the Orioles play to win. 10-20 left, and it seems like the coaching staff has given up. I'm not really sure.
Well, right. As we mentioned, the Orioles cut from a 10-point deficit to 4. You've got a young lady entering the game, Mike. Why don't you give some background on Stephanie Reuter?
Stephanie Reuter.
Yeah.
Yep, Stephanie is one of the better players on the JV team, and she's got an excellent 3-point shot. She's coming off an injury. She got hurt up in Fergus Falls. She hurt her neck. So Amy makes both of her free throws.
Pushes it back down to 15 again. We'll see if the Orioles can run into this.
Travel.
Wow. It was a nice idea for the Hawks there as Gaston, had her big young lady Dixon. It was a nice distribution of the pass, but Dixon going to shuffle off to Buffalo, and now the Orioles ball. Chance to cut it to 12 or 13 here.
Hawks staying in their full court zone press.
Yeah.
And then they get it over. A nice break by the Orioles. Quickly get Reuter wide open from 3. Vinnie Johnson-esque. I thought she was going to light it up there.
That was the microwave
and then Abby
in rare
Olson
form.
loses it going up. Then she tips it. She gets their own rebound.
Oh, nice.
Basket by Olson.
One of the first times of the game the Orioles have made a steal in the Hawk end and converted. So, and the one thing, if the Orioles can make a stop or two, and maybe they get it here, Cooper isn't slowing down offensively at all. So, they're still playing a ragged, rough game, so who knows what's going to happen, yeah.
I don't think they know any different, John. They know one speed, and it's 110 miles an hour.
Oh.
And they were going to get saddled. That's going to be number 4, TT Long. I think her first ball today.
Love to know the background. I don't know if Mr. or Mrs. Longs are here, but we know if they've got a child named TT or GG or FF, but yeah, that is interesting.
I was kind of hoping they'd call in, Mr. and Mrs. Long, if you get a chance, send John Fromm a text.
Please do.
Give us the background. We'd love to know it and then share it with the home audience.
Orioles trying to cut into the 13-point deficit. They've already taken 4 off of it so far.
Addie May misses her first.
Oh, nicely done by Stephanie.
And Addie May misses a 3. No rebounds there. And Stephanie Reuter gives her a little bump. Off the backboard, no rebound again.
Yu with the board.
No rebound again. Dixon goes up, and there's Radiance Brown with the defensive rebound.
Yeah, Yu gave up the rock nicely to Ju Gaston, who threw one up, but then just several boards in a row.
Radiance misses off the backboard, and Olson with an offensive rebound. She tries to put it up quickly. John, the best part of that sequence was Abby did not bring it down and try and dribble. Normally you'd see the girls bring it down.
Yeah.
She kept it up, and because of that, she was able to get the shot off.
Well, great point. And the other thing I was just going to say, what I noticed there too is on the entry pass as well. LeRae was at such a shallow angle to try to utilize the backboard on that play, and maybe she just wasn't aware of where she was in the low block there, but it was a really shallow angle to try to make that. So
right. Yep, good call. 8:53 here. Orioles down 35-47. Olson shooting the second of 2. And that's good.
She really drops that left hand off on the free throw attempt there, but she made it nicely there.
So she's 4 of 6 from the line tonight. Now the Orioles are applying more of a man-to-man. Oh, and they find 33 underneath. She kicks it back out. This is 23. Oh, it was a beautiful pass. Wow,
yeah,
she
it was.
just wasn't ready to catch the ball.
Nance, 33, distributed it back to Hep, and then Hep just had it go through the wickets of her forward. Orioles on a 6-0 run here, cut it to 11. Let's see if they can get it any further. Oh,
Henderson came in the game for Abby Perkins, and she hits a 2-pointer.
Kiera Buford very upset on her side. I saw her throw her hands up in the air as Mara came down, and the first time of the game I'd seen the Hawks retreat defensively, and Mara hit the 17-footer unmolested. So,
you know, John, I think that Kiera brings a big advantage to the team. It's always good to have a female coach coaching females, because they understand some of the nuances of the game with the girls. It's a different style game. There's different ways to coach girls than you coach boys.
And the locker room activities as well. It's so hard to, as you know.
Yeah, and I think, you know, and having played at a very high level, she knows certain things to bring to the table. And I think we're seeing it tonight. They're playing aggressive. She's moving the girls in and out of the game. She's giving a lot of kids opportunities. And I don't think the Orioles have really had a chance to figure out who to key on. Obviously, we know that Lauren Johnson and Ju Gaston are very strong players, but who knew that Yu Long was going to be such an outstanding force? And then Wheeler comes in, she contributes. Harvey made a couple of nice baskets, and then you've got Raina Dixon, who, you know, we really don't have anybody to match up against her. So really finding nice ways to capitalize on opportunities.
Good insight as well, Mike. Orioles down 9 here, as they have ran off 8 in a row here. We'll see if they can continue. Still plenty of time left.
Agreed. 8:20.
Oh,
look at that crossover.
Yu again shows her skill set.
Oh, just a run.
And she does it again. She goes right and throws it up with the left that time. Asia Wheeler, she's bailed out. Was that on
Radiance Brown?
It was on Radiance, okay. She radiated a foul that time, and I think that's her 3rd foul. Mara's still playing with 4, but coach not going to make any changes as he visits with her over on the bench area.
First of 2 was good. Wheeler's second attempt is good. So the free throws for the Cooper Hawks have definitely improved from half to half. And now we've got Henderson throwing it in to Schultz. Back to Henderson. And they've extended the press a little deeper now. Here's Schultz. Schultz trying to get it over the timeline. She picks it up over to Henderson. Oh, Reuter was wide open, a little late getting it to her, and she gets blocked. If Henderson hits her a split second earlier, she would have got that shot off clean. Oh, look at that runner by, was that Long?
Long, and what a nice, subtle stop and goal move too.
I just love the touch.
Yeah.
The high teardrop.
Yeah, I mean, nice.
Amy Schultz with a good shot from the right side. No good. No rebound again. And I noticed Radiance is running up the outside, John, instead of running up the middle of the floor.
Good call. Good call.
On defense, you guys, they've got to fill the middle. It's always better, give up that outside, but don't give up anything in the middle.
Right, especially in Park's case here with no Skylar, and you got the Twin Towers in there right now as Nance along with Coops are in there, 2 bigger young ladies.
Agreed. Oh, here's the step-in play.
Nance
and
gets
she dribbles it off her leg. Here's, is this Yu?
Yeah, Yu. Oh, nicely done for the Orioles there.
Abby got a tip on it.
13-point game. Not sure if the Hawks are going to take any time off the clock. Oh, a travel, I thought there.
Or 3 seconds.
She had the Coleman tent camp there right in the lane.
I've got some marshmallows. Maybe we can. Oh, and Abby had Mara wide open. Then she finally gets it to her. Mara misses the 3. The shooting percentage has not been strong.
Coops with the long board there for the Hawks.
Drive to the baseline. Oh, and the reverse layup, and that's Olsen corralling. And she brings it over to Henderson.
Asia Wheeler is completely fearless, I'll tell you.
Steph
for Cooper.
Ruder tries to go, and she gets in the block. So number 22 is Coops, and John, she didn't even have to touch her. She had her beat dead to rights, and she bailed her out, and because of that, Stephanie's going to find herself on the charity stripe.
And Coops definitely had the size advantage, but Stephanie gets bailed out there and to try to cut into this 13-point deficit. A couple of, I believe, a substitution in. Is that?
Yeah, that's Lorraine Maximore in for Radiance Brown.
I'd like to see the Orioles utilize Lauren Resnick, so I don't think has played in the second half here, as they've shortened the bench up a little bit here too as well. So don't know if something happened there.
I think she started and they made a substitution.
Yeah.
I don't know if they forgot about her or what, but
yeah,
we'll see. 39-51. Second shot by Ritter is good.
And I just wanted to say, we haven't mentioned it either, but Mike gave me a nice bit of information before we went on air today, talking about the freshman team here at Park. I believe they finally lost their first game. Really nice run for the Oriole freshmen.
Yep, the first game tonight to the Cooper team. Oh, there's a steal by Maxie Moore. Let's see if she can corral herself.
Left hand, nicely done.
Left hand, and she misses. Henderson rebounds. Henderson misses. It's just been a struggle tonight for the Orioles.
Yeah, and love to see her switch over to the left hand there. And I know they constantly are practicing that, in practice as well, but just too hard off the glass with the left hand.
Yep. Henderson on the left side. She goes cross court to Lorraine Maximore. Wild shot to the left. Just wasn't set, John. It seems like she's just forcing again.
Oh, almost a travel follow over the back, nearly called, I believe, by the official that time. Wow.
And everyone's struggling underneath. Stephanie Ruder with the corral. She brings it over the timeline. Nobody. Wow. And a foul by number 13 is Asia Wheeler.
Yeah, Wheeler definitely making contact there. Coops, I believe, had 3 offensive rebounds in that sequence, using her body down low here. Again, it's one of these things where Cooper doesn't slow the pace of game down at all. Buford real happy to continue at that level, but you're right. If the Orioles could have executed just a couple of these 3-point attempts, we'd be at a 4 or 5-point game still.
Stephanie misses the first.
Seems like Coach Massey really pulling Mara Henderson over several times to look at her for some leadership levels. Coach House, I apologize. That was Coach House talking to her over there. Coaching 3 teams, as Mike mentioned, assistant here on the varsity JV head and 8th grade head. So
he's very vocal.
Nice distribution by the UU that time.
Goes right around Olsen, and then the big rebound by number 21 is Sutton. No one contests her.
Sutton in that Twin Towers formation, 21 and 22, and Alicia Sutton. She's a 6'1", 200-pound junior, I got to imagine there.
A long shot by Ruder. That's no good. No rebound. Oh, there's Olsen gets it. Oh, and underneath this Ruder, Lorraine missed a wide open Stephanie Ruder. And then Mara Henderson throws it to the wrong team.
Oh, Asia.
And then number 13 dribbles out of bounds, and that's Asia Wheeler. You're right, John.
One of the first times I've seen the Orioles execute a cross-court over-the-top half-court pass today as Mara distributed, but nothing there to be able to break that free. So
Orioles calling a timeout. 41-53, 5 minutes left here in the second half.
Well, I like that timeout too, because you still have 5 minutes. Yeah, it's a 12-point lead, but we've seen that Cooper's a little bit ragged as an underclassmen team. I just wish there was some way to neutralize the offensive rebounding advantage that they have with the size and the weight as well.
Yeah, the Orioles are not boxing out well at all. And John, you don't have to be as tall as the person next to you. It's just about positioning. So if you can out-position the player you're guarding and outwork them, that's half the battle. So I think you'll see, there are some girls that are some good rebounders that are not necessarily on the floor right now.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, maybe you take a look at doing something like that. But not really sure at this point. Offensively, what we're trying to do, except for push the ball up the floor every time, and
Yeah, and Lauren, in my opinion, is one of the best distributors of the rock, as well as having some of the best vision on the team. And if the Orioles are going to try to reverse flow and create some things on the weak side, I'd like to see her get an opportunity back in here.
Yeah, that would be nice. 5 minutes left. We'll see what they do. The Orioles need to, like you say, we got to get a stop or get a quick basket, get a stop, and maybe we can keep it going. So
they got jump around playing in the background, so hopefully that'll fire everybody up. Modern mix.
So Henderson looking in, gets it to Olsen. Olsen back to Henderson, who hands it off. Henderson goes to the left side. That's Maxie Moore. Fakes the shot. She comes in, 2 dribbles, shoots, misses, and the rebound's off. And there's going to be a foul on Maxie Moore if that's her. I believe that's her 4th, John.
4th, so 2. I believe that's Henderson as well as her with 4. I just wanted to say Stephanie Reuter had some good position on the weak side off the missed basket, but unfortunately for the Orioles, the board went too far. Mike, what did you hear there?
I'm sorry. It was on
Okay.
Maxie Moore. Yep, you're
Okay.
right. So Hawks bringing over the timeline. This is Sutton. Sutton over to the corner. Oh, look at that. Just weaves her way in. What a pretty layup. She couldn't close the door, though.
Wheeler as they rotated around, backside to UU.
UU, getting tipped by Reuter. Reuter gets her hand on it. Really hustling out there on D. And they're trying to find a spot to fill in, I think, for Autumn, too.
Yeah.
You know, Autumn would normally... Oh, there's a push-off. And it got offensive.
Stephanie just annoyed
Wow.
UU for the first time in the game, and nice to see Stephanie really get under her skin a little bit here. UU got a smile on her face. Stephanie hoping that she'll get the rock and cut into that 12-point advantage.
Yep, Orioles need to capitalize here. Oh, and Mara picks it up way away from the basket. Oh, that one wide open to Schultz. Oh, Maxie Moore refuses to pass it to her again.
Yeah, another pick possibly set up high here. Oh, and nothing doing, though, as Mara didn't have an angle to cross it there. Whoa.
Oh, long pass. Moore in the right spot. She throws up a shot, no good. And then Henderson can't get the rebound, and UU goes to the floor. Here's Henderson. She's going to attack. Oh, she can't hang on. Now a steal.
A 3-on-0
And
here.
that's Ju
Asia.
Gaston over to Asia Wheeler, who makes the left-handed basket.
And a left-handed basket for Asia. She finally goes to it. Boy, it was like a rugby scrum out there at half court. So,
you know, John, I'm surprised that the Cooper team has a record they do the way they're playing tonight.
oh, no, nice trifecta. Going to drop it down to 11. Yeah, I totally agree. You know, especially with the 6-7 guards that they're able to rotate in the press and the hand usage that they have.
Wide open.
Wow.
Mara didn't come up to challenge. She's playing with 4 fouls. She can't play defense because she's going to get slapped with the 5th one. There's a Schultz. Nobody rebounds underneath. Olsen was waving it at it. And I think you're seeing now that because of the lack of numbers, we're just tired.
Boy, that was 4 more offensive rebounds, and Wheeler going to finish there. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and there's a few girls that have sat out in the majority of the second half here, and yeah, I'm not sure what the modus operandi is for the Orioles here.
Well, and you know, I noticed that Coach House is running all of the coaching on the timeouts and he's pulling the girls over. I'm not seeing a lot of Coach Massey. I'm wondering what he's talking with them about.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the team since Game 5. I know you've been there all along supporting Oriole basketball for years. 3-person wave coming in for the Hawks. I believe you've got TT Longs coming in for her sister, and then you also had, is that number, 23 back in the game, Hep.
Yep.
Well, we said it several times, still an 11-point advantage, just under 3 to go.
Oh, wild throw. Hep makes the save.
Oh,
A
what
beautiful
a save.
play. And again, the Orioles out of position as Coops goes in for the uncontested layup.
And Hep really made a save there. I thought for sure that was going off the black background for a turnover for Cooper.
Henderson dribbles to the middle. She finds Reuter in the corner. Reuter launches a 3. That's off the front of the iron. And a rebound for Coops. Coops quickly up to number 5 is Ju Gaston. She can't make it. Oh, and a beautiful wraparound pass by number 23 is Hep. She finds number 3 is Johnson. Johnson can't convert.
2 nice plays in a row for Hep as well, I was going to say on the follow.
We've got a new player coming in, 34.
Yeah, freshly up from the junior varsity, I believe, Dakia Davis, the 5'9" sophomore, getting some work. Dakia sporting the
DD for
double
short.
D.
Double D.
You got double U's, double D's, double D's.
Stephanie Reuter right side. She passes it over to Henderson. Henderson just inside the arc. She misses. Nobody in position except for little number 4 is TT Long.
Wow, 4-on-1 here.
And a fast break. The Orioles just not hustling back. Tip off of Reuter, but Henderson comes up. She's being followed from behind. Nobody's talking to her. And Henderson tries to go in, and she goes in for a turnover, and that's going to be her 5th, John.
Yeah, she's out of the game. A step up there by TT Longs. Not sure if she really had the feet planted, and it looks like Coach House not too happy with that call over there, but Mara going to get saddled with 5.
So 5 fouls on Mara, and that's a turnover too.
Yeah, and that's a tough call, I realize as well. But it was a 1-on-3, and she had no support on the weak side there. If she would have pulled up there, yeah. That's been one thing that it's really easy to see. Even when the Orioles do have an offensive break in the Cooper zone, it's usually an odd-numbered break where we have 1 or 2 and they have 3 or 4. And it's just the opposite when Cooper breaks. Oh, distributed, yes.
Oh. So Addie May with the rebound and then the turnover. And now number 40, she comes off the JV bench is,
Caitlin Jandal in the game, 40.
And there's Abby Olsen with the tip. And Amy Schultz corrals it. Amy's going to kick it over to Addie Mae Perkins. There's Amy Schultz, top of the key. Now she launches, and she throws it over Laray's head. And with 1:19 left.
Hopefully everybody's okay down there. We did have some commotion as one of the folding chairs collapsed, I believe.
Did. It looks like somebody spilled their coffee down there. I hope they can get that cleaned up quickly. Yep, and now we've got Laray going in. And she misses a wide open layup. She gets her own rebound. She goes in again and throws up a shot. She misses again.
Wow.
And Amy Schultz tried to get in there.
Laray mad at herself. She's had, gosh, that's probably 5 or 6 layup type balls that she's had that have just been too hard on the game. A little bit too aggressive with it.
You know, John, you wonder if they ever talk about the jump stop because she's so fast. She's leaving and, she leaves too far away and then the ball comes hard off the backboard. Maybe just once you do the jump stop and see how that goes.
That's a great idea for her. And I don't know if you had a chance to see the practice. The other thing I wanted to say is it seems like every time Mara's had the ball in the game, when she breaks into the offensive zone, they've been utilizing Abby primarily to set picks, 25, 30 feet from the basket. So, and that hasn't really helped Mara create her shot often. So, Addie Mae Perkins there, a nice 3. Cuts it to 10 with 38 to go.
Maxie Moore kicks it over to Amy Schultz. She's going in hard, and she gets fouled.
So, it's going to look like a very respectable score, and it is as well. I mean, you could make the case that if Lauren's more involved in the second half, utilizing her ball skills, and Skylar was part of this game, who knows what happens. But
yeah, you have Autumn.
Autumn.
She's missing from the mix as well, so.
Good form
nice
there.
High arcing shot by Amy Schultz. Amy's having her best game of the season. She's 3 for 3 from the line. She made a field goal earlier, so I think she's got 5 points unofficial, and I jinxed her.
Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad. Oh, nice release that time, and I believe that was TT Longs who gets the deuce.
So 20 seconds left, and the Orioles, Addie Mae is going to launch another 3, and that's good. Why would you call a timeout, John?
We're down 8 with 13 seconds. If Coach Massey or Coach House can work this. But I tell you, what a great scenario for Addie Mae. I thought she was going to launch immediately, which would have been a 24-footer.
Right.
Then she decided to come in and make it 22. So 2 threes in a row for Addie Mae. Don't know, is that her bread and butter, shooting trifectas?
Well, last year she led the team in three-pointers, so hasn't shot that many this year because of the new style of offense that really is, all around attacking the basket, which is good if that's the kind of talent you have. But I think, you really need to go with what you've got in the gun, right?
Right. Well, and we should say such a great senior class here for the Orioles. A lot of these girls, going to be wearing their Oriole orange and black for the next 6 weeks of their career. I believe we only have one more game we're going to join you with, which I think is on senior night, February 27th. make sure you come on out to all the games and go to the Go Park website or the Metro West Conference website if you want to know future times, opponents, and locations of the games. We have a substitution, and finally Lauren Resnick can enter the game here with 13 seconds remaining. Don't know if they expect her to hit 3 threes and win it, or
who knows. So they bring it up the front court. That's number 12. Relaford, and underneath Resnick is, just schools her, and then a travel call. So immediately Resnick makes an impact on the game with 4.4 seconds. Let's see if they can get a shot off. Cooper still pressing.
Still pressing up 8 with 4 seconds.
Here comes Mayfield. Camille launches a 3. That's no good, and you have got a ball game. So final score, the Hawks 61, the Orioles 53. And John, for the Orioles, the slide continues. Whatever the experiment is that they're doing is not working. It would be great to see that they can, figure something out and right the ship.
Well, yeah, and there was a time, not a good start aggressive-wise and mobility-wise for the Orioles to start the game. But in those last 5 minutes of the first half, we did take it down from, I believe, 11 to 4. And then they went on a 13, 14-point run in the first half, second half, early on. And you're right about the emotion on the bench, though, too. One of the hardest things is when your team isn't a losing skid or whatnot. You've got to find a player or two that literally can just pull something deep out of their heart, out of the gut, to get the girls to pull it together. And it wasn't there, but
it's hard when you've got 5 captains and you really don't see anybody taking a leadership role. Usually somebody's a cheerleader on the bench, but we're not seeing it from the coaches. We're not seeing it from the bench. At least we haven't seen it lately. And you hope that anytime you get into a lull like this, where you lose and lose and lose, if things aren't working, maybe they need to figure out something. I don't know if it's a team building, outing or do something, but you've got a lot of girls that, were contributing before that aren't contributing now. They're in different positions, and even if they are getting game time, they're not in a spot where they're, being utilized or maybe feel like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I've seen several times where some of the girls don't know their plays, and you're, 12 games into the season, you better know your plays.
Well, and you talked about the jump stop scenario for one of the Orioles. The other thing, too, you talked earlier about the lack of a female coach on the staff and sometimes how that, maybe advantaged Cooper today with Buford. I think that's a really big issue. There was a story in the Star Tribune just recently about the lack of female coaches in female sports at the varsity level statewide. Girls hockey, same problem at Park. They've never had a female girls coach. And tough, these are the kind of games where the girls break into the locker room at halftime or after the game. You want to have that emotional bonding, and sometimes, girls are different than boys. I don't have to tell you that. You've got one of each.
Yeah, no, it is, and I just hope for the team's sake they can figure out a way and still have some fun the rest of the way. They should be able to compete against most of these teams. There's going to be a few tough challenges, but at this point, it seems like there's opportunity, let's put it that way, and hopefully they can figure it out, maybe focus on a few things just to build on.
To build on as well. And I realize we didn't shout out Kurt or Paul in the truck tonight, but if you do want to get a copy of the game tonight, whether you be a Cooper or St. Louis Park fan, go to ParkTV.org, ParkTV.org. You can call Paul with any comments on the announcing or if you want to get any DVDs. And the other thing I just wanted to say was just a reminder about the girls basketball scholarship fund. Mike, why don't you plug that before we go off air again?
This is the first time they've done this, the St. Louis Park Girls Basketball Scholarship Fund. If you get an opportunity, you can go to the website. You can get more information on it. But the bottom line is they're looking for some help. They're doing a fundraiser. It'll run through February 2nd. So hopefully when this broadcast does go up on the website or on YouTube, and support the team, because there are a lot of kids out there that want to participate.
Right.
And unfortunately for financial reasons, they just aren't allowed, or they don't have the opportunity that some of the other families are or have. So do everything you can, dig a little deeper, and really extend that out to those kids. I want to thank Paul and Kurt and John. Thank you again. You always do a great job.
Enjoyed our time together. I probably won't see it on the air until softball season, but bring them home and let's get the ship righted for the Orioles.
Final score, 61-53 from St. Louis Park. We'll see you next time.